Greetings, everybody. Rajee Narinesingh here. So recently, I did a video addressing what the Trump administration is doing, the feds, by taking down African American exhibits around the country, including exhibits about slavery. My mom told me they just took some down in Philadelphia. And so in the video, I was comparing the Holocaust and trying to say that just how it is important to teach people about the Holocaust so that will never happen again. It's just as important to teach people about slavery so that will never happen again. That was the whole point of the video, and that's what I was trying to convey. It's come to my attention, though, that some people were taking it like I was trying to insinuate that chattel slavery was worse than the Holocaust and the persecution that Jewish people have gone through for many, 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 many years, 2,500 years to be exact. Now, I knew that history. I'm an intelligent person, y'all. I know stuff. I know a lot of stuff. I'm not saying I know everything, and there's always an opportunity to learn in life. And so I'm always open to learning more. Sometimes you know about a particular topic, but you don't know everything about it. So there's always an opportunity to learn and to even learn more. But I knew that history, and I think where I failed was in doing the video, I didn't talk about the many, many years of Jewish persecution prior to the Holocaust. So it came off like I was trying to say, oh, chattel slavery, it was worse than what the Jewish people went through in the Holocaust. And I think where it got misconstrued is that I was talking about like the Holocaust being 6 years and then slavery here in America being 246 years. And then there was another 100 years of Jim Crow, about another 100 years. So that's where I feel like I may have made the mistake, and some people out there probably thought I was trying to compare. Please, you can't compare horrors. Horrors are horrors. I know that. And by no means was I trying to insinuate that, to say it. By no means do I believe that. And anyone that knows me knows that I'm a person that operates from love and that I have a true concern about our humanity here on the planet, if you really know me. So anyway, I also should have talked about the Arab-African slave trade. That was 1,200 years where the Arabs were enslaving African people, Black people. So do the math, y'all. The Jewish people, 2,500. The Africans, Black folks, almost nearly 2,000. There's a shared history. Now, I know some people are going to be looking at this saying, well, it wasn't the same. There's differences. Of course, there's differences. But in the sense of discrimination, injustice, horrors, there are similarities, okay? And so I believe that that's what created the alliance between Jewish people and Black people. And a good friend of mine who's Jewish, he shared with me that his parents were involved with the civil rights movement back in the 50s and 60s. And I had heard that Jewish people were very engaged at that time with the civil rights movement and African American rights. Back then, I heard that they were very engaged. And so I'm not going to tell you my age. I was born a little after. But anyway, so there's definitely that shared history. And there are many similarities. So, they say the Jewish people are the chosen ones. Well, based on the number of years of persecution that they've experienced, and then let's look at the African folks, Black folks, and based on the number of years that they've experienced horrible things, injustice, discrimination, the horrors, persecution, I would say the black folks are kind of in that zone too. Wouldn't you? I mean, really, if you're comparing it in that sense. But really, when you look at the history of the world, why, why in the history of the world for the longest time have Jewish people been persecuted and black folks been persecuted? And I don't know the answer to that. There's probably so many layers to it and so many um, ideas about it and philosophies and all of that. But it's true. It is true when you look at the history of the world. Now, I know there's probably going to be some people that are saying, well, what about the Native Americans? What about the LGBTQ people? You're transgender, Rajee. What about this group? What about that group? Listen, I know that there have been many groups around the world that have been persecuted just because of who they are. And hear me loud and clear. It was all horrific. It was all horrific. No group should be persecuted for just being who they are. That's wrong. And you can't compare the horrors. I know that. I know that. I knew that. I know that. And so, again, like the video, I could have done the explain things better in the video, but I just wanted to make myself clear. By no means was I trying to say what black people went through was worse than what Jewish people went through. There's definitely that shared history. So this video is about that, the Jews and the blacks. And so that's why I'm specifically focusing on the two groups. Anyway, I think I might want to stop now. Oh boy, because this could get really deep, right? The topic is there's just so many layers to this topic, and I could probably do 30 videos on this. But yeah, that is a good question. Like, why? Why the two groups have been treated so horrible in the history of time? On that note, I guess I'll wish everyone love, happiness, peace, good health, prosperity, and many wonderful blessings. Oh, and should I say shalom? Yeah, shalom. It means, well, a lot of people think it means peace. And I guess it in some way it does, but it really talks about wishing someone prosperity, good health, overall well-being, and there's a few other meanings to it. So, shalom, everyone.